There are roads in Wisconsin where the mist remembers every name. And there are crimes so strange that only the court of European food justice can write them down without laughing. Tonight's case concerns a deer, a ham sandwich, and a donut-shaped car.
He stood in black on the yellow line, where antlers cut the dawn. A mask pulled tight, a money sack, where forest met the road withdrawn. He knew the trick, he knew the fear, the skid, the brake, the startled cry, to force a stop, to draw them out, then rob whoever had come by. He was not hungry, not for leaves, not driven merely by his own, but bent by debt and whispered threats from powers colder than the stone. A ham sandwich ran the roadside ring, a mafia lord in layers pressed. He held the deer in mustard debt and ruled through fear, not hunger dressed. The deer obeyed what he despised and waited in the fog to spring, to stage a near collision there for the profit of the sandwich king. A highway robbery on a road of frost and pine. A frightened deer in borrowed black, caught between a threat and lie. But fate was driving, floating fast at 3:05 through morning blood. A pole beside a woman armed with law and calm and northern nerve.
She was not some passing soul, not just another traveler there, but Astrid from Truths and herself, with starlight braided through her hair.
Leader of Europe's many worlds, president of Lefse spun, and still a police officer when all the speeches had been done.
She drove a donut-shaped machine, absurd and sovereign, pink and white. And when the deer sprang through the fog, she read the trick beneath her eye. The pole leaned forward, his eyes alert. The brakes sang sharp but held their ground. And just before the impact came,
she stopped without the slightest sound.
He thought they would step out in panic. He thought the road would serve the scheme, but Astrid saw the shape of it before it finished being dream.
She opened not the victim's door, but law itself, composed and clear. loose upon the deer. A highway robbery.
Not tonight, not on Astrid's watch. The road that lured 100 fears met someone honest. A donut car, a badge, a gaze, a foal still breathing, safe and near. And in the dawn's reluctant gold, a leader gently cuffed a deer.
Someone harder still to watch. A donut car, a badge, a gaze, a pole still breathing, safe and near. And in the dawn's reluctant gold, a leader gently cuffed a deer. A highway robbery.
Not tonight, not on watch.
The road that lured 100 fears met someone harder still to watch.
A donut car,
a badge,
a gaze, a pole still breathing,
safe and near. And in the dawn's reluctant cold, a leader gently cuffed a deer. They took him not to iron doom, nor cast him out through cold gates, but to a holding cell above, the fjords that shape our fate. A station hung o'er planet fjord, with windows blue as second chance, where Buenos Nachos crossed the train and Buenos Pizza changed the glance. He ate in silence, shook with shame, the mask now folded by the bed, still half expecting every kindness to be another threat instead. But Norwegians build their justice slow, with witness tea and honest bread, and ask what has spent a life before they call the soul half dead. Not every crime is born from malice, not every snare is freely tied. Sometimes a life is cornered small until it cannot step aside. Buenos nachos on the tray, Buenos pizza by the light. In the station over fjords, he ate his way back toward the right. Not acquitted, not excused, not washed in fantasy or cheer, but given room to tell the truth and speak the name that bound the deed.
Buenos nachos on the tray.
Buenos nachos on the tray.
Buenos pizza by the light.
Buenos pizza by the light.
In a station over fjords, he ate his way back toward the right.
Buenos nachos on the tray.
Buenos pizza by the light.
Buenos pizza by the light.
In a station over fjords, he ate his way back toward the right. Not acquitted, not excused, not washed in fantasy or cheer, but given room to tell the truth and speak the name that bound the deer.
Buenos nachos on the tray, Buenos pizza by the lights. In the station over 48 is way back to the right.
Not acquitted, not excused, not washed in fantasy or cheer, but
Given room to tell the truth and speak the name that bound the deed.
and when he spoke, he named the sandwich.
The ham sandwich lord of roadside schemes, who trafficked fear and folded bread, who used the weak to stage collisions and fed on dread the forest bred.
The deer described the death and threats, the false stops and the stolen cash, the roadside marks, the butter codes, the mustard seals, the getaway dash. He told the court of hidden rings, of bribes paid out in deli slices, of victims lured by mercy first, then punished by extorted prices. And every word he gave in fear became a lantern in the case, till even seasoned clerks looked up and wiped surprise from off their face. The same court that had weighed baguettes and measured towers moved by night now heard the deer profess its oath and set the sandwich in its sight. Indictment, testimony, witness protection, roadside coercion, food crime conspiracy.
The Court of European Food Justice received the case in solemn grey and wrote beside the French bread matters,
The ham sandwich shall now explain. Highway robbery, a donut car, a deer, a lie. A poll at 3:05 survived, and justice stopped before goodbye.
for mercy is not weakness dressed, nor law made soft because it cares. It is the hand that knows the cuffs and still believes repair is theirs. Buenos nachos, buenos truth, buenos pizza, witness sworn.
A deer once spent by roadside fear now wakes beneath the kinder morn.
And far away the sandwich waits to answer for the debts it fed.
Before the court where towers walk and baguettes still are carefully read. On some roads, compassion arrives arrives just in time. And on some mornings,
even a deer gets a second chance.